Hello, everyone, and welcome again to the the Business Freedom Formula channel. My name is John Arntz. I'm your host. And today I'm delighted to have and honored to have as a guest, Dr. Laura Aziz. Dr. Laura, how are you tonight?
I am good. Happy to be with you.
Thank you. So, Dr. Laura, is there anything that you're working on in your business right now that's really exciting?
Oh, yes, a lot is going on. I've been thinking actually to have something for Black Friday. I thought, like I need to enjoy the season and offer a nice gift, for my followers and my clients. But other than that, I had a tool on ChatGPT that was shared with me earlier today, and I was working with it on developing a program in my leadership academy. I have a Leap Leadership Academy, Leap to Success. And it was very engaging. It asked me lots of deep questions about things that I care about, what interests me, what makes me in my zone of genius versus things that
Okay.
drain my energy. And it was very engaging going back and forth and developed, gave me five ideas or five topics that I could focus on. I think in the things that I like to talk about, like leadership development, it
Hmm.
said five five pillars to accelerate leadership. Delegation, like most leaders
Right.
do not, do well with
Right.
delegation.
True.
So that was one of the options to work on mechanisms to make delegation more effective. And there were a few others, but the one that I chose was on executive presence because since I started coaching in 2020, executive presence has been a topic that shows up very frequently in my leadership and executive coaching.
Hmm.
So that's what I selected to work with and went back and forth and developed a whole program. Obviously, it's based on things that I've done in the past, but it's
Sure.
nice. The idea of using a GPT is to have a thinking partner. So
Sure.
you use them as a team member or you actually use them as a board and you go back and forth and
Mhm.
crystallize the idea.
Yeah. It's funny because when I first, it was probably February or March when I first started hearing a lot about ChatGPT.
Mhm.
I started seeing these little videos or these little articles about the AI, and one of them was how to make ChatGPT sound like you. And
Yeah.
I thought, okay, let me go look at this. And so I went in and followed the directions,
Mhm.
and I've created a chat, if you will, that's called John's Voice.
Yes,
And so now when it writes, it uses the way I write based on writings I'd actually posted out on my blog
yeah,
years ago. Now,
that's really cool. Mhm.
I know what's funny is it doesn't always sound like me. I read some of the things and I go, I would never say that way.
Yeah,
I would never use
yeah,
that word. So there's
yeah,
some things you still have to clean up, but
right.
it makes writing easier that or I can get
Mhm.
more accomplished. I feel like in a
Absolutely.
lot of ways.
Yeah,
In a lot of ways.
absolutely. I mean, the concept of executive presence is it's an umbrella term. There are many
Sure,
elements that go into it, and I have historically, kind of from the time I started working with that topic, a focus on communication. Like 60% of it is communication. Confidence or what they call gravitas, the way you show up and the way you
sure.
hold yourself in your confidence, hold your ground. And then your appearance, your general appearance, not necessarily, being a certain, hair color or skin color,
Hmm.
but the way you present yourself to the world, in other words, like so these are the three main buckets I use. But if you do more digging, people started adding to it. Like it was not enough to just focus on these three things. So when I started talking with the customized, I had that is built on top of ChatGPT, it actually divided it in a very interesting way. So it went to like mindfulness, like being in your
Sure.
presence, being mindful.
Hmm.
And it also included communication. So it tackled communication, it tackled confidence and gravitas, it was mentioned. So these are popular
Sure.
in like most people who write or other published articles reference these terms. And then it went into a few others in like in the way you make decisions. So as an executive and having an executive presence, you make a decision. You don't leave things hanging, like
Sure.
so
Yes.
so so it
Yes.
added few concepts to it because what you get in a tool like that, that leverage a large language model is it's fed with all the books, all the articles,
I agree.
so no
Yeah.
matter how much I read, and I love reading and I love collecting books and articles, but I have a capacity of how much I can read and retain and
Hmm.
what comes to mind when I'm talking about the topic, like what am I going to recall from all the things I read.
Certainly.
But when you're talking with a smart chatbot that is fed with all these research articles and books, you get a broader scope, or you get things that you could miss, like couple of points. But you are always responsible for the outcome. Like when they say, like watch for hallucinations. You
Sure.
want to, yeah, that's kind of where it can go on a limb and add
Hmm.
things that are irrelevant or tangential. So you are responsible, obviously, for the final version of what you have. But that's what I like to think about when I'm working with an AI tool is it is a thinking partner. It's not you are the leader, like I am the leader. I am guiding
Hmm.
the discussion. And this one, because it's a custom, there were lots of questions about me and my philosophies and my values and my business. So it customized the output in that dialogue based on what the bot learned about me.
Yeah.
So it
Well,
was very interesting.
like the way you're talking about it, I view it as kind of like I could hire one or two people to do all my research,
Mm. Yeah,
put things together, maybe even hire somebody to, one of those people would actually write it up
yeah,
and then give it to me to present. I mean, that's been done for probably centuries
yes,
with people doing it. So to say, that I'm using this chatbot is like saying, okay, all I've done is changed it from human beings
yeah.
to this thing,
Mhm.
which I can more readily afford than hiring a
Yeah.
bunch of people to sit around and do research for me.
Exactly, yeah. I mean, the idea of having a ghostwriter has
Hmm.
been used by many popular authors, and many big books on the market have a collaborator or
Hmm.
a ghostwriter. Like sometimes it is sad, it's called out, and the name of that ghostwriter is also on the book. And
Sure.
sometimes it's hidden, but many of the books that we use in everyday life and we reference them and our New York Times best sellers are written with ghostwriters.
Sure. I.
So here, instead of having a human, you're
Hmm.
using a bot, which is more affordable, and it actually is above the human error or the human capability. Like we
Hmm.
cannot retain and recall the same as a computer, right?
Hmm. Sure. Sure. Now, I noticed that when I was looking at your website, on your coaching website, that you offer like one-on-one
Mhm.
training as well as group training.
Yes,
And
true.
so is the group training part of your leadership program?
Yes, yes. It's actually groups are more fun than
Sure.
one-on-one, and more predictable, more helpful because you learn from your peers.
Sure.
There is
Yes.
more engagement. So in one-on-one, and all of my work is virtual. So in one-on-one, you're actually dealing with one person, via a computer screen, and that is it. But when you have a group, the discussion can evolve. There are more debate about a concept. If you're not, like 100, if you like want input or want feedback, instead of getting it from one person, you're getting it from peers.
Sure.
So there is a lot of benefits, but I like a hybrid. So like I like to have the group, and then I like to have one-on-one, but it's not as frequent as if you are just doing one-on-one.
Sure.
That's kind of the ideal mechanism.
Yeah. Let's see, what was the year that everything shut down for COVID? Was that 2019 or
2020.
2020?
So 2019, towards the end of the year, people were getting a harder or more vicious type of flus.
Mm-hmm.
It was not completely, we were not completely aware of COVID as
Okay.
an infection that was like rampant everywhere. But I knew I had a couple of colleagues. I was on a project in Sonoma in California, and a couple of the people I worked with had really very heavy flu-like symptoms.
Yeah.
But I think the shutdown happened earlier in 2020 when
Right.
I completed the work on that project from home.
Because the reason I brought it up
Mhm.
is that in January of 2020, I got involved in a leadership program that was put on by the local community college district, along with here in San Bernardino
Mhm.
County, there is a business development group. So I was I was the only person there who wasn't part of a company that had colleagues there. But there must have been like 20 of us in this group. And you're right about groups, about people
Mhm.
interacting.
Yeah.
And one of the great things is that they planned like every month we would have a meeting at another business. So we went to a
Mhm.
local company that roasted and ground their own coffee. We went to, and this was the more fun one. We actually went to a microbrewery
Okay.
and had dinner.
Uh-huh.
We went to another company here that makes the helmets that firemen wear.
Wow.
Yeah. And
Very
they had this
interesting.
whole layout and everything. I
Yeah.
mean, they were amazing because they had everything color coded. If there was a tool with a yellow band on it, they knew it went in the toolbox that was yellow.
Okay.
I mean, that
Wow.
way got put away. I mean,
Mhm.
it was just amazing, but COVID shut us down early. We couldn't do the
Right.
last of it,
Yeah.
but it was
Yeah.
a great program because we got to interact and
Mhm.
talk about things like ethics and
Mhm.
um some of the other concepts you
Mhm.
made about
Yeah.
presence and about
Yeah.
um uh
Decision making.
decision making, yeah, and all of that, because
Yeah.
decision making, as a young man, I ended up in a management position and I had to make decisions and I didn't know
Mhm.
how.
Yeah.
It's not like, do I get on my bike today or not?
Mhm.
And sometimes you just have to make a decision and
Yeah.
then adjust after you see what happens.
That is true. And unfortunately, many leaders in big organizations delay decision making. So I worked with big organizations on implementing multi-million dollar projects.
Hmm.
And the fear of making a wrong decision or fear of being blamed would
Hmm.
hold them back. But what happens when you hold the work back, like you lose time.
Right. And
So you,
and the problem gets worse,
yeah,
or you
exactly.
lose the opportunity.
And you're hemorrhaging money, like because
Sure.
you have resources, you maybe hired some contractors or consultants to help with the extra work because your team cannot run operations and do projects at the same time. But yet you don't want to make a decision and move on.
Yeah.
And that I experienced that firsthand in several of my engagements when leaders do not want to stand up, have be in their presence, do
Sure.
what they are supposed to do, and make a decision. And it's the common say is it's better to make a decision and course correct if there is a need
Hmm.
than to do analysis paralysis and do nothing because you're not learning, you're not engaging.
Sure.
So I'm more pro making an informed decision. You like collect all the information you need, ask people around you, and that's where having people you trust is very
Mm-hmm.
helpful. Like you
Yeah.
don't, if it's an area you're not familiar with, you want
Mhm.
to lean into the strength of your team.
And I think that's another one of the great things about like the group things you do. People get to know each other,
Mhm.
and then maybe one of them gets on the phone and says, "Hey, I'm wrestling with this decision.
Yeah.
Here's what we're trying to do. I'd
Mhm.
like your insight." And then you're getting
Mhm.
somebody that's already talked to you and knows you who says, "Hey,
Mhm.
help with this." Or like even like a mastermind group where you can sit down and talk with the group and say, "I've got this decision," and they're peppering you with questions and
Yeah.
ideas, and you walk out with a fresh perspective. I think that is so wonderful
Yeah.
to be able to do
Yeah.
that
I
instead of
think
trying to be the one man band.
exactly. That's, I think, the concept behind mastermind. Like if you're in part of a leadership or entrepreneur mastermind, every time they meet, one person present the problem they are facing that needs feedback or input from others, and
Hmm.
then so they take like say 10 minutes and present the situation, and then the other participants around the table start sharing or asking more questions in an attempt to kind of research every element or share
Hmm.
prior experiences. And I did that concept in some of the group coaching. It was, I would say, in 2021, 2022, when people were like staying home and missing being with their peers, group coaching like became very popular.
Sure.
And we started offering an advanced model that was a hybrid between a group coaching and a mastermind. So we called it Spotlight. So one person would volunteer to be in the spotlight and would describe the problem they have, and then we go around the room and everybody either ask a question to clarify an ambiguous or unclear point, or make a suggestion or give advice from their prior experience. So that was, I would say, a hybrid model between pure group coaching and a mastermind approach.
Mm-hmm. Nice. Well, I also noticed that you like to do some speaking engagements.
Hmm.
So, why don't you tell us a little bit about that and what you do?
Yeah. So I have worked on public speaking for a long time. I was a member of Toastmasters like 20 years ago. And I always felt like it was something that does not come to you, did not come to me as easy as I would like to. Like I was conscious that I have an accent and some people will not understand me. And I was always worried that I will not remember everything I want to say. That was a fear inside me. That like you go on the stage and you see all people staring at you, and then you don't you forget what you wanted to say, or you say a word that doesn't make sense, or you sound like you don't feel like you're in your strength, you're not in your power.
Right.
So I was a member of Toastmasters early on, and for many years I couldn't keep it on all the time because I traveled for work as a consultant. I wasn't in one place consistently, regularly to attend the meetings when the meetings were in person, before COVID. So on and off, I participated in Toastmasters and got all the introductory and initial training, if you will. And then during COVID, there were an opening happened where you can join any club because everything was online.
Mm-hmm.
So I can be in Chicago, but be a member of a club in California. So that
Sure.
opened an opportunity for me to reignite, I guess, that interest in speaking at a higher level, at more of a, not just speaking in small groups, but maybe more bigger groups and from stage. And then I came across a group called the Speaker Lab,
Okay.
which kind of focus their approach not about how you present, but more about the business of speaking, like how to become a professional paid speaker. And I thought
Okay.
that was a good addition to my business because as a coach, to build your business and be known, you want to write, like continue to write blogs or write a book, and then you want to be you want to speak about your thought leadership, your beliefs, your programs. Otherwise, how will people know you?
Right.
Like, so there was a gap between what I like to do to coach people and train and mentor, and then who can find me and know what I can offer. How
Sure.
can I help them? So that kind of was the combination of factors that happened at the time that reignited my interest in speaking. And then I came across the Speaker Lab, which approached it from a completely different angle than what Toastmasters was doing. So Toastmaster train you to be a public speaker, to build confidence, to not say and all these kind of
Mhm.
distracting words that reduces the strength of your speech, like so. But then actually recently I came across a voice trainer, so someone who trains your voice so it reflects various tones and various levels. His name is Roger's Love. He's a very popular voice. He trains actors and singers.
Okay.
Interesting is he has an app. So I got an app on my phone that has AI built into it that measures the speed of my speech, measure the accuracy, measure the tone, has like 5 key measures. So I train on that every day. I love it.
Oh, great.
Yeah, that
Wow, that's
that
really
kind of
interesting.
became my go-to,
Mhm.
because it's something that you need to do every day to continue to build your confidence and your delivery. You want to, we always have to improve upon ourselves. There is
Sure.
no cap to that. And when I get a presentation, like last week, I was presenting to a group out of Singapore. It was online, but I was presenting on vision, and clarity of vision. And that is a topic that I love, but the last time I talked about it in a presentation was like few months back. So I felt like I need to practice. So then the few days leading to that presentation, that would be what I practice with my AI enabled app, voice
Oh,
app. Yeah,
wow. Interesting. Very interesting.
because it gives you
Um,
feedback. Like, can obviously, I always, when I do speaking coaching, which I do with my clients, because any leader needs to present, needs to talk
Sure.
to their team.
Sure.
So we talk about recording ourselves on Zoom and then maybe listening to the audio only and see if it's clear, and maybe turn the audio off and look at your facial expressions to see if your facial expressions are open, are inviting, are caring,
Hmm.
and then listen to the whole package. So like I like to do when I give advice on how to perfect or improve your speaking, I like to walk my clients in that 3 levels, like a whole, like it's only 3 minutes or 5 minutes, so watch it all, and then watch the video only, watch the audio only, and give yourself feedback. But with an AI enabled app, I get the feedback automatically. I don't need
Sure. Sure.
to do the Zoom recording for myself, like so. So that's what I do every day. Actually, it became part of my daily routine, and
Mm.
I just love it.
Yeah. So, when is your next public speaking engagement?
Ah, I am working on few. So one is going to be with the Singapore group. We're going to do a master class on vision and clarity. So it's going to be a longer kind of presentation.
Mhm.
And then I am preparing two master classes in the coming early in the first week of December, before the holidays. Kind of, we have a window of
Mhm.
time in December. One is going to be on transforming your career, and one is going to be on building, scaling your business with the AI advantage. So
Okay.
leveraging AI. So that's the program for the coming few weeks before the holidays.
Wow. Well,
Mhm.
you're going to be a busy lady.
I am, so I will have to practice more.
There you go.
Yeah,
Oh, wow. Well, Dr. Laura, this has been great. Thank you for your time.
thank you.
Um, for those of you watching, I will include in the description of the video here all of Dr. Laura's websites so you can contact her if you're looking for a speaker, or if you'd
Thank
like
you.
to join one of her programs, that information will be there. And I do appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you
you,
for
John.
being with us, and
That
good
was
night,
a great
everyone.
evening. Yeah.